Summer, the morning. So we'll be coming up with some updates this morning, but now go to the world news, and after that we'll be right back with our podcast. Okay, thank you.
Has aired video that it says is the wreckage of the U.S. fighter jet. Authorities are offering a reward for information leading to the capture of the missing crewmen. U.S. helicopters have been seen in the area conducting those search operations. 2 were reportedly struck by Iranian fire but managed to return safely to their bases. The second U.S. aircraft was down near the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has largely blocked the narrow waterway, which is a crucial transit for global energy supplies. American media say the plane crashed in the Gulf region and that the pilot has been rescued. Rosalind Jordan has more from the U.S. Capitol.
When the U.S. President Donald Trump addressed the nation on Wednesday night, Washington time, he basically argued that the war would end in the next 2 to 3 weeks unless Iran refused to agree to the U.S.'s plan for ending the war. Otherwise, the U.S. would launch a new wave of highly destructive airstrikes, including on civilian energy infrastructure. Well, 2 days later, all of the talk here in Washington and across the United States is about the fact that the U.S. military has now lost 2 aircraft, an Air Force F-15E fighter jet and an A-10 Warthog close support gunning aircraft in Iranian territory. And more important, one of the crew members of the F-15E is missing. And reportedly, according to the Telegraph newspaper, U.S. Special Forces have now gone into Iran to try to find that missing crew person. This brings home to the U.S. Public the fact that this is not just a faraway conflict that doesn't really affect the U.S. military, even though more than 50,000 troops have been deployed to the greater Middle East. There are now images of the destroyed F-15 fighter jet in southwestern Iran, with locals looking around trying to see what equipment they can recover, as well as discussing this missing crew person. The Trump administration is already dealing with the fact that the Iran war is highly unpopular with Americans. 2 out of 3 telling numerous polls that they think the war should be ending very quickly. But now the administration has to justify putting U.S. forces in harm's way for a war that essentially started 36 days ago without much public debate. Rosalind Jordan, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Iran says a new advanced air defense system downed the planes. Armed Forces spokesman Ibrahim Zolfagari says this shows Iranian air defenses are still functioning, despite Donald Trump stating otherwise.
In response to the false claims made by the US president regarding the complete destruction of Iran's air defense system, an enemy American fighter jet was targeted and destroyed in the skies over central Iran by a new advanced defense system to the Aerospace Force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard as part of the country's integrated air defense network. The aircraft was completely destroyed.
Let's bring in Tauhid Asadi, who joins us live now from Tehran. Tauhid, let's talk about this first instance where apparently there is still a U.S. airman that a search and rescue operation is trying to find. What are Iranian officials saying about what happened to the aircraft and the crew?
Iranian sources do not confirm that one of these pilots have been rescued. They're saying that the search mission is underway and they're trying to find the pilots related to this downed advanced fighter jet. And on that, there are also controversial reports. The state TV yesterday came out to say that an F-35 has been downed, and of course there are other reports that it is F-15, whether 15 or 35. The reports from the Iranian side is that there has been this incident taking place, and they are working to find the pilots. And of course, they're saying they have asked the locals in the western parts of the country to help with this process of finding the pilots. Even there is an award being set for a person or people who can find or give information about the whereabouts of these pilots. And of course, this is not the only one. We have another report about the downing of an A-10 in the area really close to Persian Gulf. And they're also saying that they're searching for the pilot of that fighter jet as well. And there are also reports coming about the downing of drones and missiles by the country over the past 24 hours or so. And also there is this claim from the Iranian side, from different officials, specifically the spokesperson for the joint military headquarters of Khatam al-Anbiya, as we saw that the military capabilities and specifically the aerospace, the air defense capabilities of the country are still functioning, and that is despite the statement that we hear from the American side, specifically from the U.S. President Donald Trump in that regard.
Tauhid, what can you tell us about what's been happening in Iran overnight and into this morning? Because we have been hearing that there were more airstrikes throughout the country.
Yes, indeed, that's true. We are witnessing the continuation of this sustained campaign of airstrikes overnight in Tehran, in western and eastern parts of the capital. We were able to hear the sounds of massive explosions taking place. And of course, we know that it is not just limited to the capital. We know that in the city of Isfahan, one of the industrial cities of the country and one of the most populated ones, we know that attacks have been taking place, and obviously it is a heavy bombardment that we are witnessing over the past 1 or 2 weeks, seeing the nature of the targets strategically being changed to impact more industrial sections, more industrial parts across the country by the Americans and Israelis. Also, we've got reports from Urumiyeh and Khorramabad and Karaj and Kermanshah and Qom about the continuation of these airstrikes in the city of Karaj, located in the western parts of the capital. We also have reports about the airstrikes taking place, and the death toll after the attack on the bridge that happened the day before yesterday was previously 8, now increased to 13 at least. Meanwhile, overnight we witnessed pro-state demonstrations and celebrations. This is something that we see every night since the very beginning of the war in Iran and in the capital in particular, specifically in the downtown areas. But this time, the amount and the extent of it was larger. We saw more and more people gathering in main squares of the city, in different neighborhoods, carrying the flags of the country and trying to express their anger over the continuation of these airstrikes. In some of the neighborhoods, it's very notable that even though these attacks were taking place, people were still outside to take part in these demonstrations.
All right, Tauhid Asadi reporting live for us in Tehran. Tauhid, thank you. Israel is fighting on 2 fronts, coming under attack from Iran and from its ally Hezbollah in Lebanon. One of the latest waves of Iranian missiles caused a fire at a factory in southern Israel. Iranian missiles also targeted central Israel, including the greater Tel Aviv area. And Hezbollah has launched rockets from Lebanon across the border into northern Israel. Israel has followed through on its threats to blow up 2 bridges in Lebanon. They connect Hezbollah's supply lines in the east with the south of the country. These pictures are from earlier on Friday, before the attack. The Israeli military says it's trying to prevent Hezbollah from moving in reinforcements and supplies. It's been expanding its invasion of Lebanon, issuing forced displacement orders, destroying homes and civilian infrastructure. Explosions have been reported in the southern suburb of Lebanon's capital. The Israeli Air Force struck
That's
what
Lebanon
it
right
says
there.
was Hezbollah infrastructure in Beirut.
The war
The
is
attacks
not
come
easy.
shortly after rocket fire into northern Israel late on
This
Friday.
war is not easy.
Lebanon's health minister has accused Israel of targeting its medical sector. More than 1 million people have been displaced across the country
You
as
see?
Israel intensifies attacks.
So they
UN agencies say they don't have
all
enough
of
aid
the
to help the sheer number of people who are in need.
facility, like
Zainab
for
Hodor reports from Beirut.
healthcare facility,
The Israeli army is
electricity,
fighting
walls,
on multiple fronts in
destroy
southern Lebanon.
everything. So it's going to be very bad. after the
Hezbollah
war.
is trying to slow its advance. This is not the first
We
time
went through
Israel
it,
has
so-
invaded Lebanon, and Hezbollah is showing its ability to launch guerrilla-style attacks. Despite coming under Israeli strikes for months before the latest outbreak of violence, the group says it will prevent Israel from maintaining control. But more than a month into the conflict, neither side has the upper hand. Relentless Israeli airstrikes have been killing civilians, and most villages near the border are being reduced to rubble. Israel is promising to raze them to the ground in the same way it destroyed Gaza. Officials here are worried by Israel's announcement that 600,000 people will not be allowed to return to their homes.
And it all depends on how much of a land grab the Israelis will insist on, and of course, and it's totally unacceptable for us. I mean, this is a huge violation of our sovereignty.
UN agencies warn prolonged mass displacement in Lebanon is very alarming. 1.2 million people are homeless, and they don't have enough humanitarian aid. The nearly bankrupt state relies on donors, which have reduced their support and funding.
There are parts of the South that are being completely flattened. And part of why we saw prolonged displacement in 2024 was because people's homes were gone and they just couldn't go back. So you multiply that.
Well,
even if
that's
the
a war
war
right there,
ends
my people. So-
tomorrow, that destruction remains and there needs to be a rebuilding.
Lebanese officials say it's
Serious
not clear
problem.
when the fighting will end.
There's concern, especially among those forced from their homes in southern Lebanon, that Israel is planning a long-term occupation. It's done it before, occupying territory for nearly 2 decades. The Israeli defense minister says the army will maintain control of areas south of the Litani River even after the conflict ends.
Israeli forces left southern Lebanon in 2000 after near daily attacks by Hezbollah. And while Israel frames this military operation as necessary to protect its northern communities, many warn history has shown they don't bring security. Zainab Hodor, Al Jazeera, Beirut.
You're watching Al Jazeera. Here's a reminder of our top stories this hour. Iran says it shot down 2 U.S. warplanes. One crashed over southwestern Iran, and there are media reports that one of its 2 crew members was rescued. The other American plane went down over the Gulf, and its pilot has been recovered. In several cities across Iran, rallies have been held in support of the country's aerospace force. That's as local forces heighten the search for the missing U.S. fighter jet crew. Officials have announced a reward for anyone who tracks them down.
See Iran, man.
A factory in southern Israel has caught fire in the city of Beersheba after the latest wave of Iranian missile attacks. Iranian missiles also targeted a wide area of central Israel, while Hezbollah rockets targeted the north from Lebanon. Israel has blown up 2 key bridges in eastern Lebanon. They're the 8th and 9th crossings over the Litani River to be destroyed by Israeli forces. These pictures are from earlier on Friday before the attack. Israel says it's trying to prevent Hezbollah from moving in
So, like I said, good morning to everybody. So, this morning, we will be talking about some developing issues that we all have to be concerned about. And one of the things you might not like from me this morning would be I want to speak my dialect. Of course, Amina, this network is for everybody. Ibipele, Lomo, Kisi, Bandi, Gola, Basa, etc. Everybody. If you want to buy time, it's better you buy time, making sure that on Amina, you'll be able to have your voice. So I did mine. I try by all means to get space on Amina to be able to speak Mandingo. Okay? So it might not look like only one Mandingo program will be on this channel. You can have any other dialect. Once you channel with the management, they will be able to buy you time or give you that time so that you'll be able to speak your dialect. It's open. You can meet the management team, go on their website, find their number if you want to make your voice to be heard. Okay? So, but first, what I really want to talk about right now would be what is happening right now, like the news you were just looking at. I want to speak a bit about it in Mandingo, but I can start with English and just let you know what I'm about to talk in Mandingo. You see, quite recently, the United States got in war with Israel against Iran. So now the war is taking different direction. The war keep getting bigger, bigger, bigger. When you hear this news today, and you will hear another news tomorrow, different scenario, different from the other one, and everything that they say actually is like there's no good news for us. It's keep getting bad every day. Keep getting bad. And like what you were just looking at on the social media, on the news headlines, what happened in Iran yesterday, that what you were looking at, I don't have to explain it, but look up update about the Iran war. You will see you're not going to be happy about it. But on the other hand, you be happy because everybody got a side to play. Everybody got a side to play. I got my side to play. Even if I'm not voicing it out, but I know what side I'm on. And you know what side you're on. So you go make your own judgment. So yeah. So let me turn into Mandingo now. So Mamolu Kole Mobloma Koba Mafagba Jamanamini Ikalo Aluni Molimu Iran Molilu Ani Gani Kerala Aveme Okere Koreani Mone Alule Pampa Kremi Aluni Molilu Wote O Koreani Ve Mone Alule Pampa Molimu do Wele Moli Koloru Wule Tasabia Molilu Wule Ani Karawuka Nutema Soba Ana Mikarawula Alekawolo Ani ka fafi katemena jo ka fafi sunya kana ile paragbara kaya jamana lo ka wushi amafa I tell Kuka Jawi, I have a German Amin, I don't, I have a German Amin, I don't, I don't know, I need Benavuka, I must have I can slam out of Susan Yoma. I know slam out of Susan Yoma. Slam out on Atala. Alaburu Kata Je, a Ranu Kata Je, I can walk at you see. I don't take care of full of why we move to Takata family. I will catch German Aula. So, Udo Madina. And Alabu or Sunawuma, Alabu or Suniwuma, Ukake. I tell Amana Saddam Hussein, Saddam Hussein, Saddam Hussein, and Saddam Hussein or Sunawuma. Sani saying, I care, I must have. I must say, Ula. Well, I know I nothing I buy a canyoka. I will listen on a cramming I do kick us and Kaka. I found it Temuya Kunyana. I need Libya to Ekika to Libya, Katuaka Masafa. Arabumuna by I fed your Aka quite a fair break. When he Kumasunya Sungaba baby mina, Molu Suno, I will take a wooka. Masamido Sini Mokuna Masa Slaman Jule Slaman Jule. I'm going to tell Ula. I'm going to tell her, huh? I come in yellow. After Nakuma half an Masaya Soa. Quatera Lily, Avika, who got a wood or Tina, I forget we are figure Tina. Akitike no flow nako. Masaweka alaweka masaro tinyala. Elo sunakuni jefe doema. Itebomikama. Welekeni weleketa masa amina. Abuba from my babino. Nebu from dine of racket. Yamanu o ave bala. Jaja for alife. Ave do slamado alabula. Uwike. Ukoka, Wuni Wutabena. I am a Wuni Wutabena. So, an avas or a masurati monafik. Slamaula vetata, your dulo. Wadu Nuratande, Nukanka for Alanaso, Amina Gira, Aka Muslamaka Jamu, Madule Alabula. Alekumama de Aduria Wado. Alabula Slamaulu, I Siama. I kafiru supportira alabanolu kike moyu koka wufa. Ado ebe jubere boto kenemani alave alakete ninila emaleni. Because I can moyu mukani I tisera moyura. Alaba suele. Alame. So I will wuka dunya mwefa baba sosu mo ajama na mimbolo. Mwefa baba sosu ileji amadunya kono. I masa aminebolo. I jama na aminebolo. I will tabele. Fingremi I matabale wole force on your mwefa. I mataba wele bene. Force on your mwefa. I mataba wele. I have ado dunya wa for ya ekata wele. Na kata we ala maya kumba yewele ba ayu mase jamana ni wola ave kubeke so kunu kuma sunya aya ambio do ejeni kukata u fafatu ambio jeni sama jau na aya mwefa ba udondo na le ambio jeni sama sini minga era aka aya mwefa ba udo aboka mota mo fagba mo sini yo na aka uya ambio mbar krembo mama na tukwa fa wa ke flare ako machine ne ba ala kitire amodo awuke kusa salama wi ben mo le ru ben no ka je ikena koma be itake mo mu ni aweji afia wa na ka fanga tire ade akete kika inijo fenibu alo ya la akete kikoka ai wo bole mo so Molu ya kwe place na whatever. Ako ya kule. Atisela. So moyo mnajerebe kwa ni. Wado kuma mwala maya kuma jama na mina maya kuma ya do dia ni molu la wala ka monte ka fe ka asia mafala. Wado na kuma fana ni na fe kami for. Slama so da simulu kala ni kakendo ni tomalo kakena bi mwendo awula ye ala makoto ay boko mino slama kere suda silu bikalo ene ka ko kere minis kere jela le dey mo fa kere le dey awi na ma tono fuitala kere mina so yedi meka suda si ya mino yidu au ko sala nyuma boyeno tono fuitala ibe to fun because masa misi ni mokuna amara wuri kelema jamana miya ana wuri akele mi made kwale to soro do de wita fawro ana wuri awu kele su de awe ka jamana mi kele wolo ene ka bo ye yu na to ka jamana mi kele so da siru be lola le wolo ka wo kele ke wado moni so da si de dokuma ni te fa ni na na fa awe so da su gbara ko le mi de abi ko ku e ka do na so da si ya oja ibe ai mi la sera afa na ekuma ela aka ka fo ku masa kemi ni ali so da si ya ope ke na kalu asusu dima uyake itibana uma kumina ya so da si ya gbe ya wi ya so those say kele mi lo ni kele bebete fanya fo kele mo ru fa ko kele sila ma fa ko kele then they do so that see ya ado we for ka ko ye kata kele su mi no e wa fa itake mata ke wa fa fuita for sela wala ke kele bebe ama ke kele bebe fuita kumina so that see ya mi bu ya jama na mi kono wolele so mo la li mi dia mo de uma ani mo koro ni mo do ni ai mo nya so ka ya mata kele su mu la ai okay because ki amama jayende ikanda to ije kundwa fún mo de musa ni kele mi na sa ni fún na fatala dunya na fatala kiyama ana fa kremi ala dunya de wole de de nkake tumalo awe sala ai kri awe ka me dima ai wodima aro kiyama feu tona foi tala tona foi tala kiyama fika jumu so fika hake so because leta kata mu fanati ka ufa ana fa ya mu ya ai fa edi na kalo o to akere so mi no ala ka we be di ma juso so ndo economy ndo ko idene ama fa ko be ko ka fa ni ko mi ko ka ama ke ama fa si abebe ko ka ai bolo fa na ni mo de un lata ni mo ko nyu lata so da ka ya mo wulu anna fa ya lu ya because I will to ni na we we ni awe do na we ma so amodo awuke mo ko ni mo do ni mo so da si amodo awuka ko sara enyu mo bo awe bo ami no because mo kan fa so da si ako mi faragba je no ni asha ma we ko we yi ni ko ate we amaka fo mo da to seka ya jama na mi you do na sara nyu ma so na de ta aka we bo ya no fa we yi ma di ma mo amete neta doka adolot nela because the pin na wana kama mwamu mu ni aya politician wa ata kubebe ka 14 yali aya kukaja uru nda kukoisha mode susu do tinya ikararu mo bebe wije kwani waru tinya ikararu mo mure ate kubebe ma so ala mota ya masuama so wole we ba jina mokete ko mata kuma kabla lajina ni labiya dana kuma dolo wa kumi moma akuma bela ba moma akuma yoro mi ni bene mokete okuma dokera loten tumaro bi wa akuma ba mi jina mokete akara wole sokole kwadu boni fasole jino nyina especially kalomina ko kalomitele wo ho ni manyina So mo afa mo kuma mo ba the roof, you know. And mo ke mo do ni mo kai masoro bi mo kete na fasola wini komuma because akabo uti loni buke uyasaka ani fofana uyasaraka dola uyasaraka mo be feso yo mo jelebe so komu we ka je mo kete mo amodu kila akabo je no bi ni mo ka commissioner maso ni mo ka so modu maso permanent modu mo feso kabo kwadu ogboni aya dafeka moye so yena wini minde mamu boto yorobe kana kinyo ala wini kuminde suruma wonna famide so ala moye wemine diara mola akede minde fra moye mokete wo modu maso abina kada na I see aya for moye amina kokajano bi yani mona mokete ala lonila akede wate mino time na mokete wo time la ajino kofe bi waka mwena ka abaluke na kade ala basara mani na so nyari la ni bakelu ni jamu nu ani tusunyu ani woman onyu ani samodunyu ube ebe nyanya because ato te dana mamo na ka so yenke akola di atole because kemo ula dana baro miki right dia bareka abeka da tutu akokoro ula we akola di adiale ani abati bo ulu ani akocho ji ulu manyaru na ku panga usoso anyaminga kajusi hain for mali nyu kaji hain for labi anyu ku kaja nu ya kocho ulele doru ma taru so abe ni mo taru maka amwalo because we fan we mo fanga ele abi manya de manyinga leki ya history on ibe ha ngawa neke di ko mo be ni teta ni mo fanyu teta ni ile wofo wado nute bla titika mole ka fo do bla ni temina obani so buko ate ama Jesu lo nute odole nuka mo Jesu lo ne wena wekata akola dia wena ka bene ka fo kusumia kilo aya promoke aya fana ne bu ay tomorrow aya fani abe menula akete mu fra aya lo mo ka fo ko lo gba ne season wa program du je na bene abe na aya ko promoke aya I can't okay more call roof because dunya te sole mo ko du ibi mo emesila ute ko muka mo community ula mo te wi na butubi amu mo wote akere ka mu from moya abene ka for yet amu madoela akwa from moya ole nyonde ani we ba jino mo kete nyusidole morovia kedo ya from ako Samuel Jackson yeah gora mabale kolodole wado akenyo a history na mijiala akena awe bale gubana madu fe kokolo ani eri buna bala kuwa mo fala kolole mo na mena eri buda na fa kwa una modo fa ka utimini mino ana amoso fani ado almo mo mi wi alo enegbu mo labu yakono bu mo ba ete ado awe we do so obudo utimini mino wa no very miracle ne na avido ye na ani na amoso photo ye na kwale na amoso fara amoso singwini ete wole kwale do zanyi biwo wanjate ni manyina kwale na amoso fara uko machine ne de yeah so awa amoso fara so okitira koni mona to avido le yaye mona to avido ye yaye kwale na amoso fara So avido leja geta zuela geta blala poisu labria poisu na chashila geta le blala jaya ye. So kwale na amuso fa ako machine kavalu ni momu sini jamana kren kono amosu kabako awi mo fa ba le okosue na okosue mo machine na le kana video le ni ona bla ba le video le na bla ale ni ona robunya waka ito maro aketen.
Inspector General Coleman is about to address the nation through the respective media institution. He's here with his deputy of crime services. And you can now put down your bag as we commence this important press conference. Inspector General Coleman, the media. Good afternoon. Fellow Liberians, members of the press, representatives of the diplomatic community present, partners in justice. We gathered today under solemn circumstances. The Liberia National Police acknowledged the death of Tommy Kelize Innocentia Kumari, commonly known as Tony, a South African national. We extend our deepest condolences to our family, loved ones, and the people of South Africa. This is a moment that demands not only empathy, but clarity, discipline, and fidelity, and rule of law. From the moment this matter was brought to the attention of the Liberia National Police, we initiated a multidisciplinary investigation. This investigation was conducted by the Crime Against Person Unit, the Forensic Section, and it was done in coordination with medical authorities and the Monrovia County Coroner's Office. Every step taken has been guided by evidence, professional standards, and the legal framework of the Republic of Nigeria. The key findings in this investigation are as follows. The investigation has established a body of evidence that cannot be ignored. Number one, we established that there was a pattern of prior violence. There's credible and corroborated evidence indicating that the victim was subjected to repeated physical violence over time, which is supported by witness accounts, photographic evidence, and documented communication, which are copyrighted timestamps as well. Controlled environment and the last contact. The defendant, Mr. Samuel P. Jackson, was the last known person with the victim in a secure residence and was also the first person who entered the secure room and discovered the victim unconscious in a pool of blood, where both entry and exit were restricted, effectively isolating the victim. 3, the forensic and medical evidence. Medical and forensic findings now establish a clear and compelling trauma profile. There was contusion to the left forehead, the back of the head, the middle of the right chest wall. There was also laceration, hemorrhage, and back, bruise, bruising on the with a trauma sequence. The injury support of probable blunt force impact to the chest, the backward fall, resulting in head trauma, including contusion, laceration, and hemorrhage. This is not a random or isolated injury, as it is linked to a chain of previous traumatic occurrences. 5, we look at neglect and duty of care. Evidence further establishes that the victim had a known medical vulnerability, which occasionally resulted in seizure. Yet, the suspect continued to supply the stimulant. The victim was left alone in a locked environment without supervision. This constitutes a serious breach of duty of care with foreseeable risk to human life. 6, we look at the post-incident conduct. The investigation also identified failure to promptly informed law enforcement, and there were indicators that the scene was altered or tampered with before the police even had access to the scene. These actions are legally significant and form part of the evidentiary records. The current status of a full autopsy report will give further clarification on the extent of internal injuries, while the toxicology analysis is ongoing and expected to be done within 1 to 2 weeks, so we can get it early. Based on the totality of evidence, the Liberia National Police has formally charged Mr. Samuel P. Jackson with manslaughter, negligent homicide, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment of another person in violation of Chapter 14, Subchapters A and B, Sections 2, 3, 20, and 23 of the revised Penal Code of the Republic of Liberia. The matter will be immediately forwarded to court for adjudication. Now, let me give our position. Be clear. The Liberia National Police does not determine guilt. We do not substitute public opinion for judicial process. We act when the evidence meets legal threshold. The accused, Mr. Jackson, remains presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This case speaks to a broader issue. As a society, I believe we must confront it. Violence within private spaces is not beyond the reach of the law. Vulnerability does not diminish rights. It heightens protection, especially under the law. Neglect, when it leads to harm or death, like in this case, is criminal responsibility. The Liberia National Police assures the government and the people of South Africa, the family of the deceased, and the Liberian public that this case has been handled with professional integrity, transparency, and respect for international standards of investigation. In closing, I would like to say this. Justice requires discipline. It requires that we speak carefully, act lawfully, and allow the court to do its work. The evidence has now been placed where it belongs, before the judiciary. We urge all parties to exercise restraint and let the jury decide. Let justice take its course. I will stop here, and before we go to questions, to all the real ID and law and order trained investigators, all the things you gotta see on TV, we get so here. So when we do investigation, we gotta take our time and make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's. This thing, when you accuse somebody of such a crime, you have to make sure you do proper investigation. And it's sad that, the speed that everybody would expect us to take in this investigation is just not possible. So we want to thank the public, we want to thank those who beat us, and we're demanding for immediate responses this is where we are. And at this point in time, let me just throw a little light on some accusations out there. There's this trending Gregory Como will kill me from Representative Foko. At no point in time have the Liberia National Police, through the Inspector General of Police, ever threatened anyone to kill them. I will encourage, like I did earlier, Representative Foko, to please use the rule of law. Stop yelling on social media. You can ask the parent that not put a competent jurisdiction and file a complaint, a formal complaint. Also encouraging that he should attach the pieces of evidence that he claims he had with indicating me threatening his life and that of his family. We don't take lives now, we protect lives. That's what we do. And I remain committed to it and respecting the rule of law. Thank you.
My name is Fabian Kia and I report for LBC. Thank you for the updates. I did hear you mention about toxicology, a lot of which I'm concerned about in your updates. You also mentioned that the defendant Samuel Jackson has been charged, and with the results of the toxicology will be in within a week or two. Now the case obviously will have to be reported based on your charge. So why extend that result to 1 or 2 weeks? Because a lot of people may wonder after leaving the police station and coming back in 1 or 2
No,
weeks.
they're coming back to us today.
To give up. So why?
No. So they're coming back to us. Based on everything we know, So there's multiple layers of the investigation. The first thing we go there first, the coroner look at the body to see if the body has any issue to do with foul play. That's where it starts from first. If they believe it has something to do with foul play, then sometimes we recommend and we go further. Like in this case, when we look at the body physically, we were able to make a determination as to that there was some temporary stuff done. That was how we went into the autopsy. The autopsy has been completed. There's only further analysis that's going to be now. Usually the toxicology look at all the chemicals and stuff that are in the body. If this was related to something that wasn't, but it's physical evidence, physical bruises all over the person, and based on the initial report, we have sufficient evidence to be able to charge for all of the charges that we have right now. Even if toxicology comes, it's not changing the charges that we have right now. It will just give us more information as to what we further understand. It will tell us the extent of the internal injuries caused by what we are physically seeing outside. So the opening and I said the brain, the drink, this other one, that report will tell us the extent to whatever happened inside, but the physical one that we can see enough for the child will be closing argument followed by the end.
Okay, Mr. IG, my name is Brian V. Tobin. I report for the closing argument. In your explanation, you did mention some of the injuries, some of the bruises that were on her body. Do you care to tell Liberian people, if from your investigation, who were found guilty within your investigation? And a follow-up, Liberians are now concerned with the autopsy report. Are there going to be any publication or anything to Liberian people from the autopsy?
So, I just mentioned here, we do not establishing guilt and all of this. What we do is we investigate and provide evidence, send it to the court establish who's guilty or not. Mr. Jackson remains presumed innocent until proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. So that particular one will be established by the court. As far as the concerns that people had, the autopsy and everything, this autopsy was conducted by an approved pathologist by the government of the Republic of Liberia through the Medical and Dental Council, which was recommended by the Ministry of Justice. So we can go find somebody from the corner to say, can do autopsy for her. They want to come and prove, and he did it in the presence of the investigator.
All right, that was the IG giving report on the taxes that were had on Samuel Jackson concerning his wife, because news what we saw with his wife was something actually that he looked so suspicious. So they are on the investigation. I think the investigation is ongoing. I don't know what position they have right now, but I think he gotta be charged, because for what the RG is saying, I think he will be guilty. If I'm not making a mistake, he will be guilty. So I'll give you some music of this thing I want to play. One of my favorite music, actually. I really love this music. I love this video so much, man. Love it.
Monday dama ñëw fii cewe bés bu màgg bi Monday dama ñëw fii fecce bés bu màgg bi Omar bàyyi benn yow xam nga lu yàgg dëgg la yow Omar benn yow xam nga lu yàgg dëgg la dëgg la Monday dama ñëw fii fecce ba bés bu màgg bi Monday dama ñëw fii fecce bés bu màgg bi yow Omar benn yow xam lu yàgg dëgg
All right. So
yow Omar baax yaa tunga
So, yeah, that was it right there. So, like I said, that's one of my favorite music. I really love that music. So, yeah, and then we'll come back. We'll be going to the same Liberia on the bordering issues. You know, we keep getting videos from over there, a lot of videos, a lot. I came across another video that the guy I used to work with, Spoon TV, Emmanuel. I will be playing you that. But how did we get there? How did things got started? I got recordings from the beginning, how it got started. How our people started to boo, to mock at those people. Okay, so it's clear. I got a video right here. I'll play right now, so you can see it. You know, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not a secret. Wow, people did. If you think you can do that to American soldiers, if you can do that to white soldiers, somebody think how people do, they don't do. You can't respect white people and then you don't respect your own people. That what the Guinea people did, a lot of people do. A lot of countries do that. And they go unpunished. Okay? So exactly. That's what happened. You see here, this is the place I'm talking about. Here, there are 4 recordings on this video. Okay? So we don't do that. If you go into white people country, the thing they do is so bad than what our people do. Okay, so we have to be very, very respectful in treating one another. In my own case, when those Guineans came to that border and there was no Liberian soldiers, or even if there was Liberian soldier, our citizens, what they did, they should have not done that. Keep quiet and know exactly what they did, and then you make the reports to authority, and then the authority have the right to go there and go carry on the dispute. But our people did not do that. They decided to do what? To do this. To do this.
The Guinean, they are returning back to their home. They are returning back, so we are so happy. Because they are said
these are soldiers our people gather against like this at the border. This is not just issues that can be resolved by civilians. It's a real issue. See how they behave it. And we keep backing this. This is not a good attitude. And you see good people, you see people, so you see people, you know, backing these kinds of attitude. Okay? And it's bad. So after that problem, our people cause that kind of problem with that kind of noise against the people. I'm gonna play it again so people can watch it. This is the beginning. When what happened to the Guinean border? Okay, this is it. Again, I want to play it so our people can see.
they are returning back to their home. They are returning back, so we are so happy. Because they are said
You see our people behavior, right? So you've been there against foreign soldiers. If these were white people, our people would never do. They all would be quiet and escape from that place. But because they are black, this is a government crisis. This problem to be resolved by government. It's not the way our people treating the Guineans, right? So this was not something that actually I was in favor. That's bad. And then after that, what happened now? You know exactly in Guinea, we have a lot of bordering activity with these people. Our people go there to go and buy goose. Our people got a lot of stuff from Guinea to bring it to Liberia, whether it's a business or whatsoever. All right. Guinea is bigger than Liberia. That's another thing. And besides that, where do we have to go? Can we depend on Sierra Leone? Sierra Leone, we can't depend on Sierra Leone because Sierra Leone are already afraid of Liberia. Why? Because the same thing you guys are doing over there. You guys know very well that Sierra Leone have problem with Liberia because Charles Taylor used rebels from Liberia to attack Sierra Leone and carry on a lot of atrocity, amputate a lot of young people. So those grudges are there. We should know that. And then when we angling with war, chanting, with fighting, what benefit does that bring to us? By right, we're supposed to be a model, a future for Africa. And we're supposed to show to the world that we have learned our lesson and we're not supposed to be involved with anything that got to do with fighting crisis like using gun against one another to fight. This level of attack against the Guineans to that border from the beginning, whether they're wrong, whether they're right or wrong, our people should first of all know our behavior was not kind at all, was not good. If we can show training from our country, let's show other people training and respect them. Because we don't respect our leaders, and then we take those swinging anger and carry against other people. The Guineans are supposed to be your best friend. They're supposed to be your brothers. They're supposed to be our back, because we stay struggling, coming up to make our country better. And we have to hit one another. But now with anger, even no matter what they did to Sierra Leone, they not do it to Liberia. Liberia, what they did, we should take it professionally, but not with anger. So what the outcome after all that noise? The people close their border. They close their border because they are angry. And the result become what for our people in Liberia? What become of that noise that you cause behind the people? What are the effects? What benefit it bring? What the bad news about that noise, about that disrespect to the border, on the people? And you will hear from our citizens, of course. Around the 4-year border, what's happening there right now? People are not doing normal businesses there anymore. Why? Because they are angry. And you will hear from people. Let's listen to the young man, what he have to say.
What Bendo, where are you going?
I'm going for ya.
Why are you transporter?
No, I do small business in the villages. I go around.
Okay, so as a businessman, the thing that is happening at the border, how is it affecting your business?
Really affecting our business. No selling.
All right.
Our people who can go sell around the villages, we leave the villages to go in for ya. This are no business.
So what's your message to the government as a businessman?
Me, I want the government to help us, please. The government will help us so they can find way how best that people can move from that border side. Because
you hear that?
And now the citizens around there, they are afraid of the gun. So they run away.
You see?
All right. Thanks for talking to me, yeah? Mama, you want to talk to me too?
So because of that one noise, because of that noise, you think it was just little. It become big now. You can't go get it to go and go get food. You gotta be trained like nobody business. How long our people go through that pain to get food for themselves? To have that conscience with the Guineans, free, happy like the way they were happy before, just because of that stupidity to that border. Just for a piece of land that cannot move from here and reach over there. And it has been resolved, I believe, and everybody know that position. We know exactly that problem. We're supposed to know, in fact, that our problem could be solved without noise. Oh, the king, they put their flag on the Liberian soil. Oh, the king, they put their flag on the Liberian soil. No, you're not leave it, you're leave it. You're going for our authority. We can't show them. Let it approach people, because this is where you're every day. You're crossing, going to Guinea, buying food, doing things together. Then you, the same people, stood up against the people to cause problems. Now you see the young men saying their business are being interrupted. They cannot do business. They can't go to Guinea. People lock their place. And by the way, I want you to know this. Liberia border is different from Guinea bordering. We border with Guinea from Liberia. We border with Ivory Coast from Liberia. We border with Sierra Leone from Liberia. So the rest of it, that to the sea. We don't have 4 or 5 border lines. How many border lines Guinea got? Guinea got a lot. The border with Liberia, the border with Africa, the border with Senegal, the border with our country. like that. That's how they go. So they can stretch everywhere. And besides that, Guinea not making plan with those people like us, they're not making plan with us. But if that issue that happened to the border, if we're gonna handle that diplomatically before it reaches the government, the people that are suffering now to get food from Guinea, they will not be suffering. So can we go Sierra Leone? If we go to Sierra Leone, yes. Sierra Leone too getting from Guinea. Because people can go through Sierra Leone and go to Guinea to go buy goods. Are the border going to use? Let's say the Sierra Leone, they are a little bit kind. But we can't depend on those people heavily. Because everybody will not go through that border. And besides that, they will show you that go well right now. But when it comes to confusion that we're making with Guinea, they will have their own attitude towards us. Because they know our history. So we should know that. So we have to put ourselves into the moral position to behave right. Not to just be acting like because Liberia for a war. So everything we do, we have to prove it to the war. We don't have to prove nothing. And we know we achieved something from the war that belongs to us, but we should not carry it to other people. Guinea people on Liberia, how? Who's supposed to make that report? Or when we're making that report, that how we're supposed to address the issues? You're not living for you. I'm not there, but you're sitting way in Monrovia supporting the idea. What the people there is right, but now the suffering the people going through, you are not there. They're not going Guinea. So if they have to go to Guinea now, probably they have to use the forest. Different kind of way to enter Guinea, secret way. And when you die, you die. Because when they see you, they take it to be enemy, they can harm you. So the official bordering area is supposed to pass to go buy your goods. That place is closed. You see? So that's why it's never right to be the first to stone and violent. You could slip. So that's what happening. So they're going to speak to the old man and she will speak. See, but let me see how we react to that.
Talking in Kisi, what's your name, please? Bolifina. You from the time I know Bolivar? Bolilo. Yeah. What do you do here? Okay, like a village. All right. So what you make of what's happening here now? The thing that happening why you see poor. Why are you not running away?
Yeah, it's running away.
So what you want for the government to do now? So what you can do here? You farmer? You can make farm? All right, man. Thanks for talking.
You see, so I don't know if you have problem with that because like you see right there, she was just speaking. Do you have problem with that? I know if that gonna be Mandingo, you say, oh, but I'm Mandingo, Apple can speak English, they're from Guinea. First thing I know you would say. First thing you would say. They can't speak Mandingo, she's from Guinea, but the woman spoke about that. She spoke raw Gisi. And I don't have problem with it, but I know you will have problem with Mandingo woman speaking like that, saying turning herself into Mandingo to speak to us. You will have problem with it. Okay. So yeah. So that was it. So now the boy got problem with the borderline because I think the Guineans have closed their border around the 4-year end. So that is the bad news about it. So and what else again I wanted to bring? So like I said, so I'll be leaving because I spent like hour here, and I can't be talking about myself. I was supposed to bring people, but not today. I just wanted to inform the public that tomorrow we'll be having conversation here on Bakedu, Kwaduboni. I mean today, and because I stay in my I after 1 o'clock here, so I will get people today. We can't talk about Bakedu, Kwaduboni on a Faso coming. So we want you to stay tuned. We'll be back today later around the hour so that we can try to bring Kwaduboni people here, our people, so they can come and speak to issues that, we all want to see. It's about culture, and we really want to, I want to be part of it. It's about culture. I want to be part of it. I want to bring you my favorite music, yeah. I got bear with me. I also be leaving you because we got a lot to do today. I'll be coming out your way. So I want you to watch this song. This song that you like.
Yo, mi matanga si senti, yaba. I'm so bad, you read come me. Yo, mi matanga si senti, yaba. I'm so bad, you read come me. Come now, suma don die, yaba ija. I'm so bad, you read come me. I'm so bad, you read come me. Come now, suma don't die, yaba ija. I'm so bad, you read come me.
Monday the manyofi, cherry basbumagabi. Monday the manyofi, fete basbumagabi. Omar bai ben yo hamga, luyagadagal. Yo Omar ben yo hamga, luyagadagal. Monday the manyofi, fete basbumagabi. Monday the manyofi, fete basbumagabi. Yo Omar ben yo hamga, luyagadagal. Yo Omar, Bakhyatunga. Yo Omar, Bakhyatunga. you go to Panay. Matila Pege, Jula Pege, you go to Matila Pege, Jula Pege, you go to Matila Pege, Jula Pege, you go to Panay. No Hochakawai.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. So like you read that right there, just read over there. Thank you for watching. Of course tonight, and we will be back. So I must be leaving you for now. After 1 a.m. my time, I need to go to bed, and then inshallah we'll be waking up. We'll be waking up with some. Inshallah, I won't wake up. We'll be waking up with development I would like to bring to you. Inshallah. But for now, I'll be leaving you. Inshallah. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back tonight. We'll be back with posts. Inshallah, we'll be back with posts, and we can give you all the updates here. So stay tuned. We'll be back, inshallah. So with that being said, let me see what I gotta leave you with. I gotta leave you with my things. Yeah. So good night. So, in the morning, and I'm so